speaking of advertisements and money and, you know, the spending thereof, have you ever seen those feel-good stories about how these extra things were done by this family to afford some kids college or medical expenses? Or they have this one weird trick that allowed somebody to spend only $124, and that allowed them to do their groceries for the entire month. Have you seen those stories? Have you seen those? Because I've seen a few of them, and usually when I look at those stories, what I don't get is, oh wow, look at the ingenuity of this person. I look at how cool they are. What I usually get is, I feel like this is a bunch of news executives telling us that it's our fault we're poor. Interesting. Perseverance porn, your favorite. Yeah. As opposed to recognizing that the system that we're in is a little broken and could use some fixing, these stories basically perpetrate the you could pick you up by your bootstraps and fix it yourself if you only had the ability, if you only had the skill, and you could learn that skill. And then, of course, there are gurus who will capitalize on this to try to make it so that you pay them money, and if like 10 people are paying them $30, $40, $50 a week, they're making a pretty penny off of doing nothing but telling you you're poor and you suck. You've not had the pleasure. So, firstly, I'd like to point out that even with an ad blocker, CNBC keeps on throwing out the Your Wealth newsletter, you should do this pop-ups. All of the related stories on here, 34-year-old earns $58,000 a year and lives in an RV in Austin, Texas. I save half of my $250,000 a year salary as an AI scientist. 33-year-old earns $250,000 a year in AI and saves 64% of his income. This sounds like the same story twice, but written by two different people, and the editor didn't realize that they were the same story. And they were just shitting out articles. That's fun. That's fun. Moonstar says, first off, fuck AI. AI is a tool. AI is a tool like anything else. There's ethical ways to use it and unethical ways to use it. The same story twice, written by two AIs. Very likely. So, this one, though, as I said, is a 38-year-old financial coach. Financial coach, huh? I wonder if they have a financial incentive in telling people that they are oh so good with their money. I wonder. I wonder if that's the case. But 38-year-old financial coach spends only $124 on groceries a month. Here is her number one tip for food shopping. Interesting. I wonder what her number one tip is going to be. Does anybody want to tell me in the comment section what you think it's going to be? In the chat what you think it's going to be? If you've read this story already, don't spoil it for everybody. But if you haven't yet, then go ahead and give me your best guesses because, well, I can go ahead and tell you right now, it's one you've probably never thought of. It's one you've probably never done ever in your life, right? Right? Okay, so let's read the article. When it comes to establishing her bona fide as an expert saver and budgeteer, Carly DeFelice, who runs an online personal finance course, best money class ever. Wow, I have some thoughts on that name. It has some big numbers to point to. Between her college graduation in 2008 and her 26th birthday, she paid off $35,000 in debt and stashed away more than $100,000 in investments. Now, 38 and a community manager at a co-working space. Oh, college graduation 2008. Okay. I was like, I graduated in 2010 and I'm 31. Okay, I understand now. Now, 38 and a community manager at a co-working space in Austin, Texas, DeFelice has boosted that number to about $400,000 in cash and investments, without ever making much more in a year than her current salary of $58,000 a year. $58,000 a year is, it's not the biggest salary out there, but it's actually really close to the salary that one would need to be financially stable in most areas of the United States. Just saying. But as DeFelice continues to practice the budgeting methods that got her out of debt and allowed her to build wealth, Yeah, the budgeting methods allowed you to build wealth, not the financial classes that you sell. Nope, not those. The smaller numbers may be even more impressive. Consider, for instance, that in December she spent only $123.65 on groceries. Given the current state of inflation, that's not a hard figure to reach on a single trip. She says, I estimate I spend $1,000 less than the average person by being intentional with writing out my meals and planning what I'm going to have for the week. DeFelice tells CNBC Make It, my secret tip is to always have a grocery list. Don't worry, the reason that you're getting fucked at the grocery store is because you didn't write a grocery list. Except for all of you that write your grocery lists, probably on an Alexa device. Don't worry, guys, that's the thing you've been doing wrong. That's the reason you're poor. You didn't write a grocery list. Come on, guys. Write more grocery lists. That will automatically make your issue better. So before we continue on in the article, I want to go ahead and take a little bit of time. To write out a weekly grocery list for a home of 2. Let's just say you and a partner, right? Just you and a partner. So let's say for the week you have 10 pounds of ground beef. You're using 2 pounds of it every day of the week so that you can do, whether it be hamburger helper or, hamburgers on the grill, or whether you're using it for spaghetti or stew. That's about $32 where I live. So let's go ahead and say $32. There's your ground beef. That's one meal, 5 days for a week. That's 5 of the meals that you need, and there's 3 times 7. It's 21 meals to account for here, and that's just the meat portion of it. Let's say the marinara for the spaghetti. You're going to go ahead and add just a $2 jar of marinara. Maybe some garlic for $1. Let's say you want a bag of apples for some fruit for your days. Let's say you want a carton of eggs. That might run you $3. Let's say you want some meat to go with those eggs. God forbid. A package of bacon or a package of sausage. Just some frozen sausage and some bacon. 10 and $5. We're at $58 right now. What about drinks? God forbid you want to have a 12-pack of soda. That'll be about $5. And, oh, you got 2 people, so that needs to be twice. Maybe you have a $2 thing of tea added onto that, and, maybe you want some chicken, too. Chicken's about the same price per pound, so let's go ahead and add the same amount per chicken for another meal, and a little bit of... We'll just go ahead and add a loaf of bread, a jar of jelly, and a jar of peanut butter at $3 a pop for each, maybe even $2 for the loaf of bread. And what do we have there? We have sandwiches, we have spaghetti. Oh, we didn't even count the noodles. There's the noodles for the spaghetti, and I guess we'll go ahead and add $15 for various seasonings. So just in that, and we haven't even covered all the meals that you would be having for the week, right? This is literally just, we've covered breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 5 days out of the week, and we might have some miscellaneous scraps left over. That's $127. That's $127. No snacks have been accounted for. There's been no fluff here. It's literally been peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, spaghetti, chicken breasts with no vegetables. Oh, God forbid. What if we added some vegetables? Let's add $10 just for some variety, some leafy greens, so that you're actually having some healthy fucking food. And, maybe some potatoes. You maybe want some actual sides to go with your entrees. Maybe you want to not just have a slab of chicken breast like the like the sad white person I am. Let's go ahead and just add, what, a $5 sack of potatoes that we could use for various things. We don't even have cheese. Let's go ahead and just do, like, you have, what, 5 boxes of macaroni and cheese for about $10, depending on where you're getting them from. You can get 50-cent mac and cheese if you're going to Aldi, maybe. And what? Let's actually get some cheese here. We need some cheese for the sandwiches that we bought earlier. $5 for 2 packs of cheese, like 1 thing of provolone, 1 thing of pepper jack cheese, and then what? Just some Velveeta for us to use in some stuff, some off-brand Velveeta, $4 for a brick of that. Oh yeah, some milk. I forgot. We need to get a $3 gallon of milk on top of that. It's like 3 times that for me though, because I have lactate. Also, butter. You're right. Let's go ahead and just get some good old country crock. We'll add $2 for a small thing of country crock. Condiments, yeah, we'll just go ahead and add $3 for condiments because condiments tend to stretch. Condiments tend to stretch. So where are you finding milk for as low as $3, Aldi? 2, where are you finding butter that cheap? Aldi. Aldi is the place to go for cheap shit. I'm sorry. Also, tomato soup, so you can have grilled cheese and soup. We'll just add, like, what, $5 for some cans of soups? According to chat, I'm lowballing a lot of these numbers for their areas. He did say, like, y'all are telling me that I'm lowballing these numbers, apparently. I don't think I'm lowballing them. I'm just hitting the numbers as I see them in my area. So we're at 174. And bear in mind, we've planned out everything. I've mentioned sandwiches. I've pointed out that the meat is going to be used for hamburgers and spaghetti. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot buns. We'll pay $1 and get some buns. And $2 for the pickles for the cheeseburgers. We've got the sliced cheese already. Onyx, it's not relevant to the conversation. Not relevant to the conversation. So... Also, liquidation stores, how they... Who's liquidating fucking chicken? The fuck? Anyway. What about some mixed Aldi's nuts? God damn it. Anyway. Point is, this is, what, a week's worth of groceries, lowball, very little variety. This is just the stuff. Pets need food, too. Not everybody has pets. Not part of the conversation. We are just trying to hit balanced meal options for a regular household of 2. All of the pieces needed to assemble the meals that household of 2 would need for 1 week. And accounting for drinks, accounting for food, accounting for all of that, we're looking at 177. We are looking at 177, and that's for 1 week. So when she says, I spend 123 on groceries... I have to assume that her grocery list looks a little more like this. So, years ago, this is what my grocery list looked like. A $1 package of hot dogs, a $1 package of bologna, a $1 loaf of bread, a thing of ramen for $2 that would be for a few days, a thing of jelly, a thing of peanut butter, a thing of eggs, a thing of tea, a thing of sucralose for the tea, and God, we have literally the basement cheapest meats possible. We have some eggs, and just what, like a sack of potatoes, and some bananas. This right here, which is literally just hot dogs and eggs for meat and protein, and a thing of, you know what? We'll be fancy. We'll add one more thing of hot dogs and other proteins. Cool. This is closer to what I was spending every week as basically survival rations. That's basically what that was. That would be 124 a month, and it's literally just you bought hot dogs and bologna. Not good hot dogs and bologna, Bar S hot dogs and bologna, and you know the taste of Bar S hot dogs and bologna. There's only so many ways you can prepare those things before you start wondering when you're going to hate the taste of them more than anything else in the world. This is about what I worked with before. This is the lowest bar, most L cheap. The S stands for what? Fuck if I know. I'm not that company. So this is where I was at. This is where I was at. And these are prices based on, like, what? 5 years ago? Was when I was having to do this 5-6 years ago? Bar S is much better than that brand in the beige package for $1. So we had 31 bucks here. And this is what me and my partner survived off of 5-6 years ago every week. It was not a fun survival, but it was survival. That was the point. That's all it could be. So this 123 in groceries, I'm just going to go ahead and literally call bullshit on that. Because knowing what survival food looked like for me and my partner around that time, there is no fucking way that somebody going, I make $58,000 a year and I've made all this money financially planning for other people. No. Some of these numbers do not add up. Those of us who have had to work with struggle money, we know what those numbers look like. We know what those numbers look like. We've been to the store before. She goes, I estimate I spend a few thousand less than the average person by being intentional with writing. We just made the list. We literally off the top of our heads made a grocery list. And it did not get us to your secret. Says her grocery money comes out of her weekly discretion budget of $120, which she carries in cash. She goes, this is what I consider operating expenses, so I buy my necessities first. Groceries, gas, my car, and then whatever was left would be happy hours and hanging out with friends. Maybe a new... Oh, she just gave it away! Oh, she just gave it away! So, she's... Hold on. Wait a minute. You're not feeding yourself 3 meals a day off your groceries, ma'am. A lot of us are having to do that. We have to cook just about every meal because it costs a quarter of what it is to cook at home as it is to go buy the meals elsewhere. So you're already giving it away. The whole, like, happy hours and hanging out with friends and shit. You're not eating all your meals at home. Your groceries are not the thing feeding you all the time. Your groceries are just not the thing feeding you all the time, at all. They can't be. And you admit it in the article. She goes, that means if she wants to have any fun, sticking to her grocery budget is imperative. She starts by planning all her meals out for the week, which generally includes large batch dinners she can prep in advance. Don't worry, guys. All you have to do if you're working 2 or 3 jobs is make large batch dinners that you don't have the spoons or time to make. And then don't worry, you'll be rich like her too. She does it off $120. She does it off of literal hot dog money. Fuck. The ingredients Delise needed to put those meals together for the week all went down in the same journal she used to track her budget and on a list that came with her to the grocery store. Oh, do we get to see the list? Oh, can we see the list? That would be helpful. Once she makes sure that her list comprises everything she'll need to eat for the week, she has the confidence to stick to it and avoid purchases that could inflate her grocery budget. She says the key is, I only buy items on the list. This helps me avoid impulse purchases. Yes, using a grocery list does help you avoid impulse purchases. This is a true statement. It is not a magic bullet, however. It does not make inflation disappear. This is the thing that I hate about articles like this. They are written in such a way that it feels like not having money is automatically the fault of whoever is poor. Like, look, you could just be like her, spend minimal amounts on food and be absolutely malnourished, and then you'll have enough money for Christmas, everybody. Like last time I went to Costco, I impulse purchased an air fryer. Dunaboyo says, planning meals, motherfucker, I have to pray that there's manager and butcher specials in order to buy half the protein we need for a household of 7. Eric says, so if she forgot to write down something like eggs, they just don't get eggs? Is that an impulse purchase? Who knows? Felicia applies the same budgeting tactics to dinner and drinks with friends. A $50 line item in her September budget. Can we see the budget? She says, I'm very proactive. I'll make a lot of the plans, and I'll say, let's go to this happy hour. And while she's there, she doesn't have to spend much to have fun with a friend. She says, I can have a heart-to-heart and build a relationship with a friend and spend like $4. Whether it's groceries or a night out, if you're intentional about your spending, DeFelice says that you're less likely to spend it on things that don't ultimately have any meaning to you. I've mastered the art of being incredibly social, having an amazing social life, and also being good at saving my money. And I think the way that I've found balance is I realize that it is the experience with my friends that matters. So, here's the thing. Yes, it is true that the time you spend with those friends is infinitely more important. It is infinitely more important than just the food that you purchased there. I can tell you what an average Friday night out looks like for me. I wake up in the morning and I go and grab breakfast for about $10-15, something small, or I'll cook something. It depends on how much energy I have. But I've got 2 podcasts to do on Friday back to back. So I'll do one podcast, 9:30 to 11. That's the Magic the Gathering podcast that's over on the Spicy Tech channel. And then I'll do the Sunset City podcast from 12 o'clock to usually about 2. And then after that podcast, that's about the time I'm waking Saki up so we can go to the card shop. At that point, I don't really have time to cook because we have to be able to drive and beat 5 o'clock traffic, so we're grabbing food on the way, typically. I'm usually not making a sandwich or anything at that point. We're getting food on the way, so that's about $15, $18 for the both of us. And then, when we're out at the card shop, let's say one of us gets thirsty. We have to buy a soda or something while we're there. Or one of us, gets a caffeine headache and then needs to get a frozen coffee or some shit. Anything like that. And then after the tournament, when we're all done, ignoring the $5 entry for the tournament, after the tournament is finished, we then usually go out to eat with friends. It's something like going to a Whataburger or going to a Buffalo Wild Wings or a Taco Mac. Places that are open after midnight. There's usually not a whole lot of them. And when we're at those places, 15 for me, 15 for Saki, and then tip. About $100 for the day. My Fridays generally cost me about $100 to $200, which is a decent bit of money, but it's paying for 2 people, and it is... Sarah Chicory says, fuck midnight, I can hardly find a place open past 9. Jesus. But that is how that is. Jess says, you can save a lot of money with a simple and easy trick. Tax fraud? Just don't do this. Alex Markel says, couldn't you cut down on expenses by drinking water? So, here's the thing. Tap water blows ass, and the water is not less expensive than the soda when we are out. It is the same price for a bottle of water at most card shops as it is for a bottle of soda. It's usually about $2 for either. They just price them all the same. Also, both Saki and I, if we do not have caffeine, we both start feeling really, really, really ill. So, yes, could we save a couple bucks spending by drinking water? Absolutely. Would it make going outside literally not worth any amount of time we spent out there? Also, absolutely. So tap water blows ass depending on where you live here in Colorado, especially in Boulder. Here... said, that's called caffeine addiction. Yes, I know what words are. Thank you. I, like 98% of functioning America, have a caffeine addiction. Who would have thunk it? Seymour says, I spent $150 on food so far this month, and that's not counting $160 worth of food for my younger cousin bought for the household. Yep. Like $170, $180 per week is about average for 2 people. Onyx says, well, stop. Yeah, that's not how addiction works. That's really not how addiction works. So, well, excuse me, Princess, for having a flaw. Some of us like soda and just find water boring. Yeah. I enjoy the taste of soda. And so there's that. Hellbound Hillbilly says, hello, my name is Hellbound, and I'm a caffeine addict. Point is, articles like this ostensibly seem to try to highlight or elucidate a way that, oh, look at how this really crafty American is surviving out in the world, how everything is getting more and more expensive, but look, if only you did these things, then you would be able to afford living normally. The reality is, most of these articles that talk about quote, finance, they're not telling you how to invest your monies for it to grow. They're not telling you how to do that. They're pretending that most people with their baseline salaries and living expenses can just grow their wealth without adding any extra to it. It's the avocado toast thing. The article doesn't mention them millennials with their avocado toast, but that's basically the implication here. You guys are spending too much on eating and surviving. Therefore, it's your fault you're poor. Look at this person over here. They're not poor because they don't spend money on eating. Blink, blink. That's why I don't like articles like this. I look at them thinking that, oh, we're going to have a informative thing that tells people just something that they haven't considered that they should be investing in or they could be improving in their life, and it's write a grocery list that it'll fix all your problems. Jesus. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. This is a different type of manipulation from mainstream media than what we normally see in political spheres, and I did want to go ahead and touch on it a little bit. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and as always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here. Hey, I just quickly want to give a thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who keep this show running. YouTube and Twitch are a pretty bumpy ride at the best of times, and the stability a Patreon provides me is worth more than I can say here. I'd also like to thank each and every one of my $20 and up patrons here, and they would be Red Joker, Britzkrieg, Cameron, Dren, Jemshin, Smiling DM, Poundini, Mabbity Babbity, Naomi, Isaac, Agamotto, Jordan, Ravi, Giuni, Kiratorian, Prisma, all of you, I'm not saying that part, and Starlight. And finally, thank you to everyone else that helps keep this channel alive. While you're here, why not check out another video? And thank you for watching.